Here with Swift Jarrett Hurd, April 7th. I think everybody says the biggest fight of your career coming up against Erislandy Lara. Tell me something about that fight that you think is going to be hard for Lara.
Well, of course, everybody know that I'm a much bigger fighter. You know, he has a problem with guys that put pressure on him, and everyone sees that. You know, I'm magnificent at putting pressure, and I'm going to be strong throughout all 12 rounds. So I know eventually he's going to wear down. He had trouble with Angulo, and me being a much bigger, much faster, much stronger, much sharper guy than Angulo, I think he's going to have a lot of problems.
You know, the build-up coming into this fight, you know, you had a terrific run, you know, starting with Frank Galarza, you know, and it catapulted you to the fight, Oscar Molina, and then you went past that fight, and then it was actually after Oscar Molina fight, you fought Jojo Dan, and Jojo Dan was a southpaw, right? And also, coming out of that fight, you got the chance to fight for the world title, you know, and you beat Tony Harrison. And everybody was looking at you from the time you fought Frank Galarza up until the time you fought Tony Harrison. And they were looking at the footwork. You know, they were saying something about his footwork isn't good, this and that. So what do you got to say about that? And what was the reason, and what was your thinking in those fights?
I didn't focus on footwork in those fights. You know, the fights with Frank Galarza, Oscar Molina, you know, and Jojo Dan, I was more fighting on my back foot and allowing these guys to come towards me a little. You know, not more so the Oscar Molina fight, but, you know, I was more not just working on pressure. And with the fight with Tony Harrison and Austin Trout, you know, Tony Harrison lost his only loss was against a pressure fighter. And, you know, he wanted to kind of do the same thing that Willie Nelson was capable of doing and put pressure on him and eventually knock him out. And that's what we did, but we wasn't really aware of a footwork. We was trying to just come forward. And the same thing with Austin Trout, man. You know, I wanted to make a statement out there, separate myself from the other champions he fought, and get a stoppage. And while doing that, I knew it was going to cause me to have to put pressure on him. And I was a little sloppy with my footwork once again. But, you know, we were working on it now, so therefore, when we are putting on pressure, we're going to be much cleaner with our footwork this time.
Yeah, and also, I was on the phone conference when they were talking about the reason why they made this fight was because both of you got styles.
Right.
They say styles make fights. And one of the questions I posed to Stephen Espinoza was, did they pay attention to your previous fights going into this one because of the styles? And what I say about that is because you fought conventional fighters that put pressure on guys, you know, the boxers basically, and then the southpaws that you faced. And that, to me, that was preparation going into this Lara fight.
Right.
Do you think that helped you out a little bit?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because, you know, we kind of, at the same time, we did give more like a awkward-looking style when we fight Austin Trout. And, you know, we kind of copied Angulo style a little similar to that one. But, you know, we was switching southpaw to right hand. We was kind of giving a look that we want to give Lara a little, but we want to use, like I said, more head movement and more footwork. So we able to go through a whole camp of practicing it, and now we have another whole camp to prepare for Lara to practice for back-to-back. So it helped out a lot, you know, fight Austin Trout, prepare for this fight because we have longer training camp. And
also, with this fight with Lara coming up, is it more of a signature fight that people can define you as being a complete champion? Because right now, people pretty much consider you the underdog going into every fight.
Right.
And then would this be that defining moment for you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think it depends on how I beat Lara. You know, if I go out there and have a kind of a performance like Austin Trout, where I get hit a lot, you know, coming on in later rounds, they'll say Jarrett's a good fighter, but you know, he's gonna work on his defense, They'll still doubt me in fights. But if I go out there and look superior and do the unthinkable, and do something like maybe outbox Lara, or even just go out there and make him look like he has no chance at all, then that's when they'll look at me, wow, like he's the super champion, man. And they'll start comparing me to even not for the fighters at 154, but they even compare me for the fighters at 160.
And you know, with these fights right here, when you see a fighter really pretty much, even when he's hitting you, he can't hurt you.
Right.
How does that make you feel going into this? Is that what makes you stronger going into the fight?
Yeah, definitely give me confidence, because, you know, Austin Trout was, you know, nothing to take no credit from, but he's one of the softest guys I ever faced so far, softest hitting guys I ever faced so far. And, you know, it kind of make you, it made me a little less lazy on my defense, because his punches wasn't affecting me as much. And, you know, it's something that, you know, sometimes you could get a little sidetracked and not pay attention to it if the power was not there. But like Tony Harrison, he was a little more stronger than you know, maybe he was the strongest guy I faced out of everyone. So, you know, it all depends how long power is. It's going to make me more well on my defense. Or, you know, hopefully if he don't like power, I don't get into that mode again where I just want to get mine off. Because I was willing to take a punch to get one when I was fighting Austin Trout. But hopefully he don't get into that again.
When you beat guys like Tony Harrison, when he sees your power and he actually feels your power, what did he have to say to you afterwards? You know, that respect level. Did he have a lot of respect for you after that? Tony Harrison.
Tony Harrison, yeah. You know, Tony Harrison even said it, man. You know, going to the Austin Trout fight after the press conference, we rode in the shuttle bus that takes you to the press conference together. So, you know, Tony, he not really saying much to me in there. But on the way back, when he got in the van, you know, we talked about the press conference a little. He said, "Yeah, man, Jarrett, I see you trying to go for a knockout this fight, man." I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to go for a knockout." He said, "Well, after this fight, man, hopefully I get my rematch." And I was like, "Man, yeah, you can definitely get your rematch, but you know, just make sure that you know you handle business out there." So after the fight, though, he saw me fight Austin Trout again. He came in the back dressing room and he said, "Hey, listen, Jarrett, I need to come up and get some sparring with you, learn how to work with that pressure, man, because you're relentless." I said, "Man, how you get some sparring? We supposed to work together." He said, "Man, Jarrett, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't fighting you, though." He said, nah, man, but I ain't gonna lie, man, that pressure you got, I need to work on guys that had that type of pressure because, you know, that's my downfall. That's what causes me that's my 2 losses against." And he said, "Man, you so relentless." He said, "I would prefer coming to get some work with you and learn how to perfect someone with a style like that, you know, and then more so seeing myself ever fight you again."
Swift Jarrett Hurd used this opportunity to fight Frank Galarza, put the spotlight on himself. And after this fight, he did the same with Oscar Molina. Controversial stoppage, some people might say, but it was a stoppage. And then he was just overpowered JoJo Dan going to that. And also he had the opportunity to get a championship fight, i.e. a title, stopping and wearing down Tony Harrison. And leading to Austin Trout wanted to use the opportunity to become a champion again, but it didn't happen. He was stopped. Now he faces Erislandy Lara. Yeah, this fight right here, with any of the fights you're going up to, even the build up to this fight, how does it feel when everybody's looking at you and think that you really don't have everything that it takes to be a champion?
Right. I mean, like I say, all my life I've been the underdog. You know, it was times where, you know, coming up and even when fighting locally, it was hard for me to get put on shows, and I always feel like I had to prove myself to everyone. You know, I never even looked so far ahead as to become a world champion. I was more thinking like maybe one day I'll get on the local card and be a main event. Those were my goals I wanted to reach. You know, maybe I could get a fight side of town, you know, things like that. And you know, I didn't even start thinking world champion until I fought Oscar Molina in a Olympian. And when I beat him in the spectacular fashion I did, got a stoppage over, I was like, man, I can really become world champion. That was my second fight on television. So you know, I'm used to being an underdog. There's nothing that I'm not you know, you're used to seeing and being, but what it is, I like it because I prove to myself as long as I believe to myself, and I know things can happen. I go out there and make it happen. I know I'm capable of it, and it's no different with this fight. You know, all I need is that little bit of percentage, 1%, man, and that's all I need to go out there to make things happen. And
you were Al Heyman, right? And when did he start noticing that it factor in you to let you, you know, be able to get where you are today?
I think it was a Frank Galarza fight. You know, when he saw the fight with Frank Galarza, you know, Frank Galarza was the top prospect. He just came out of knockoff John Thompson, and he was doing real well. John Thompson went on to win the world title. So he was like, man, Jarrett, this is your opportunity at main event. You go out here and do your thing. You know, this is going to be a tough fight for you, but you get this fight, man, you're on the map. But I went out there and put on one of the best performances ever and made him look like he was a C-class fighter, and I was a levels above him. So I think that fight made me really open our eyes and say, wow, this kid Jarrett is better than I thought he was.
And what gives you that confidence knowing that you're going to go into this fight and be able to stop Lara?
I just feel like my style and what I can do in the ring. I don't bring to the ring one style. Like I said, the last 2 fights are what people. You're only good as your last fight. And my last 2 fights were the people I defined it before as a pressure style fighter, kind of just come straight forward. And but that's the only 2 fights I fought that way. Out of all 19 fights before that, I was a boxer and counterpuncher type of person. So I think I bring a lot of arsenals to the ring, and me being able to switch it up whenever the time is, bringing out whatever it is I need. If it's turning southpaw, if it's countering, if it's pressure, if it's walking straight down, bullying, no matter what it is, I feel like I got all the tools to bring it out whenever time necessary, and I'm the type of guy that can figure it out within the round or so and make those adjustments.
And what's the difference people going to see you since they saw you fight Frank Galazza up until winning the championship and defending against Austin Trout? What different are boxing fans going to see different from you fighting Lara?
The difference, what they're going to see is they're going to see pressure. This is what people don't understand. They're going to see pressure, but they're not going to see sloppy pressure. They're going to see, smart pressure, and that's the thing that I know Lara's expecting me to just come in there and walk in and like I was take one to get one. But we've been working on smart pressure this time, man. It's going to be constant pressure all 12 rounds, but it's going to be smart pressure.
Now, out of all this, how does it feel actually to be one of the top fighters at 154-pound division?
Oh man, it's a dream come true because, like I said, this is something that I didn't look too far into the future and think of. I always wanted to, eventually get here, but I didn't know that it would ever turn out to be this way. And Swift Nation, the fans I do have, they're diehard fans, no matter who I go up against, there's no switching sides. They never doubted me. They've been there from day one, and just to be who I am and be able to making the mark in the sport the way I am so far, and especially for the DMV area, I want to continue and keep on the rise. And
how's your fan base since you noticed, through social media and also throughout the fights, and you've been winning the fights into becoming the champion? How's your fan base now?
Oh, it's growing more and more and more. My last fight, I picked up a lot of Mexican fans because
they like your style.
They love that style. Yeah. So and also when I beat one of the Mexican fighters, Oscar Molina, I picked up a lot of fans. So hopefully after this fight, I pick up some Cuban fans, and and we can go over and start fighting international over in UK and things like that. I'm trying to come undisputed. I'm trying to move up and take over different divisions, all that. So I'm ready.
There you have it. April 7th at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Got the championship coming up. Prepared?
Very prepared, man. Listen, it's in Vegas, so for all my bettors, here's one thing. I fought in Barclays Center twice in New York. Both times I fought at Barclays Center with Oscar Molina and Austin Trout, I got a 10th round stoppage. Now, history may repeat itself. I'm fighting at the Hard Rock Casino again where I fought once before against Frank Galazza. And I stopped him in the 6th round. So for all my bettors out there, that's a tip for y'all. 6th round stoppage.
There you go. Look, he's going to be there again.
Yep.
Swift Jarrett Hurd, April 7th on SHOWTIME.